Welcome to another video here with Queen City Reefs and more. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. I think I'm turning into a, older man now. I am, I know. But I used to be able to sleep in. I used to be able to sleep until 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, just depended. But anyways, today I decided, guys, that I am going to go ahead and use ChemiClean. I've been trying to use bacteria like Vibrant. I've been trying to use Microbacter 7. And I've been trying to use Microbacter Clean on the last 2 to 3 months to clear up cyanobacteria. And there was a moment where I thought it was receding when I changed the direction of the pumps of where they were pumping, but it just is not working. It came back, and I'm giving in. Being that there's no corals in here yet, I'm going to go ahead and use ChemiClean so that I can target this cyanobacteria and see what happens, guys. The only thing I have here is zoanthids, some Bubbletip anemone, a Ritterite anemone, and a carpet anemone. So for those that have that and want to use it, this would be perfect for you. I trust it. I've used it before. I know it's not going to affect anything. I've used it before in a tank upstairs with corals. I haven't had any issues with the corals. My issues have been around other things. But anyways, let me show you the cyanobacteria. The lights are off, so it's going to be a little tough. So as you can see, well, actually it's not tough at all. You can see all the cyanobacteria. Let's start in this corner where the green carpet anemone is at. You see it all on the sand bed. I know you're probably thinking you should target what the actual issue is, and that's the problem, guys. It's that I don't have high nitrates, I don't have high phosphates or anything like that. I don't feed this tank as much as you would think. Like the videos that I've shown of feeding the tank is mostly for the video, so I feed a lot to show y'all every single fish eating. But I try not to do as much all the time. That kind of feeding happens maybe once a week. And aside from that, I just sometimes, like yesterday, I went without feeding. So there's days that I'll skip feeding just so that, it gives the tank some time to break down anything else that's in here. Look at these guys right here. As a matter of fact, I actually have to work on getting the clownfish that went into the sump. There's 2 right here now, and they still host these anemones. Look at these guys. You can see both of them right there. So I'm going to use what the directions say. For those that are not familiar with ChemiClean, this is what the general box looks like. Treats up to 300 gallons, so perfect. It gives you directions of making sure that you have enough oxygen levels in there, and by either by putting an air stone or running your skimmer, which is what I'm going to do, run a skimmer. And it tells you how much to put in there. Tells you for how long and tells you what to do. Make sure you turn off your UV sterilizer, or if you're using an ozone generator, you turn that off. Not sure what the side effects are. I haven't read into it, but I'm going to listen to these directions and make sure I don't have them on. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and mix this. There's nothing much to it because the tank, I consider it more around 350 gallons with the sump. Now what I've done is I normally save my Taco Bell cups or these plastic cups so that I can feed from them, mix the food from them, medication from them. In this case, we're going to use it for mixing tank water from the tank itself for what this treatment's going to be. This says it is good to treat up to 300 gallons. Pour it into this container here and then measure it out, the 30 or 40 more gallons that I needed. All right, guys, so this is pretty much how you mix it. I'm gonna mix this around pretty much, in a cup, and if I have to grab a spoon, I'll grab a spoon and mix it as thoroughly as possible. Spread it on the, around the tank, and it's not gonna work instantly, so there's no point in me showing you, you know, how to pour something into a tank, right? So I guess it'll be worth showing y'all one thing. So here is about 10 minutes after dosing it, and nothing's wrong with the anemones, nothing's wrong with the fish. They're still hosting there. There's the other ones, just straight up relaxing. Where you will see a difference is your skimmer. My skimmer is literally producing a lot of foam, and that's obviously because of the ChemiClean. I toned it down a little bit because I'm not sure if I truly want it to be wet skim and take out all the, you know, the chemicals before the 48 hours. But it is important that you keep this on, or I would say a pretty powerful performance air bubbler, so that you keep the water oxygenated. Because if it's saying that, most likely what it does, it depletes the oxygen levels for the fish. Now luckily I don't have that many fish, so I would say that if you have a tank that is packed with fish, then maybe a combination of a skimmer and a air pump would do the trick here. Now we'll keep an eye on this. I will film this tomorrow in the morning to show you where it's at after 24 hours, and then we'll film it again the morning of that I'm going to be making a 20% water change. I'll probably do more of a 50% water change. Now, one thing that I am thinking of now that I'm sitting here is that all the bubbles are all the way in here, and my probes are there. So this definitely is going to affect the way my probes are reading, especially salinity. So I probably should have put some kind of foam there. But I actually have some, so let me go get that. Of course, you know of my reef store here that I have, where I keep all of my supplies. This it's clean, but it's dirty, right? So it retained the color of how nasty it was before, but I actually cleaned it up. It actually fits perfect, as you can see. I put the foam guard there, and we can keep that for a while to use as extra filtration. But I'm hoping this eliminates the bubbles that are going into the return chamber. All right, guys, so it's been actually 3 days. So to cut it short, because I'm, you know, in the middle of this, and I just thought about recording like always, right? So I left it an additional 24 hours. I am now doing, it recommends a 20% water change, but I'm going to do a 50% water change and add some carbon to remove the rest of it out. And then I'm gonna give it about maybe until the weekend. We're in Thursday, so maybe until Saturday or Sunday to see how it looks after a few days, after the water change, after the carbon, and report back, right? If everything looks great, I'm going to connect the CO2 scrubber that I mentioned on my unboxing video. And once I can get the pH up, I'm going to move some of the SPS corals in here, guys. So this is what we're looking at. As you saw in the earlier video, it was full of red cyano. This is why I don't really have an issue with ChemiClean, because it works, but it's like everything else. It doesn't work immediately. It takes time. Even after 24 hours, to be honest. Maybe I should have recorded after 24 hours. It looked like only 20% had gone. You know, you saw some areas where it kind of had thinner. And so I was almost thinking, no, there's no way that in another 24 hours it will, you know, clear it all up. And it pretty much did. About 80%, maybe 85%. It was, you know, 85% gone. But I figured one extra day wouldn't hurt. It hasn't affected any of the fish, any of the corals. So now what I'm doing is I'm vacuuming the sand because you'll see some algae spots there. It's brown algae that's accumulated too. That was under the cyanobacteria. So I'm doing a vacuum. After this vacuum, I'm going to add some Microbacter Clean. That's what they recommend once you've gotten rid of, you know, not ChemiClean, but Microbacter cleans to, you know, be able to keep things clean. So I'm gonna use it. I've used it on the other tank, and the other tank was great. So once this is all clean, I'll do one last shot of what it looks like once all of this has been cleaned and water changed, glass clean. And we'll move on from there. All right, guys, so it's been 2 days later from the last clip. I took a while because I didn't get a chance to do what I needed to do yesterday to give you the final results, but you'll be amazed. I can't talk from experience with corals, just from anemones and fish. You'll be amazed at how this tank looks now after using ChemiClean. So take a look. Look at this, guys. So I decided to vacuum the sand since I already had to do a water change anyways. Another thing that I did different than what the directions said was, on the directions it says 20% water change, and I decided to do a 50% water change, and then I added carbon as well, just because I haven't done a water change in a while and I figured it needed it, so I figured why not. I'm very happy with using ChemiClean. I probably would use it with coral as well. It doesn't say it would be dangerous for it. I will be adding coral to this tank here very soon. Most likely that will be my next update on the MegaMatrix. I hope you liked this video. I hope you found this informative for yourself if you've been debating on using ChemiClean or not. If you're not already subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you do. Consider subscribing.